We are still on logics, the series of logics, and if you missed some of the videos, make sure that you check them. I'll just put the link here, so you just go and find them from introduction to logics and also proving by inductions. Check all those videos. Okay, so today we are talking about logics, and specifically we were talking about tautologies and contradiction. What are tautologies? Okay, a tautology is a statement that whatever input you put in, it always give a truth value of uh, truth value of true. So whatever you put in, the truth value is going to be true. Okay. So in simple terms, tautologies are always true. Okay. So for contradictions, it's the opposite. Contradictions, whatever input that you put in, whatever input, okay, it always input is going to give out results that have a true value of false. So in simple terms again, it is always false. Okay, so these two are antonyms. So we're going to use a check the video that we did before of truth table, because we're going to use truth table. We're going to use truth table to prove if a statement is a tautology or not, or maybe if it is a contradiction or not. So let's start with a statement. We don't know if it is a tautology or a contradiction. So I'm just going to write it here. We're just going to do our test and see what the results that we get. So the first statement is going to be P or not Q. Okay, so we're going to have a table for P. We're going to have a table for Q, and we have a table for not Q. Then in the last column here we put the statement result. So okay, we have two. Remember the rules that I said, like if you want to know how many rows, we're going to have a 2 power of number of variables. So we have 2 here. So we're going to have four rows. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so the first one could be true, could be false, could be true, could be false. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this one could be true, true, false, false. Okay, if you get the pattern, it alternates with 1, it alternates with 2, the next one alternates with 4. If the one, the next one alternates with 8. You get the pattern because it's 2 and power. Okay, so what is not Q? Not Q. So I just circle the table for Q. So we want not Q. Not Q is the negation of this. So if it's true, then it's going to be false. If it's false, it's going to be true. If it's true, it's going to be false. If it's false, it's going to be true. Okay. And this on the last one, we're going to put Q P or not Q. So this is we're looking at this or not this. And again, I've circled those variables that we are in subject that we will be talking about, which we'll be doing a table for. So we're looking at Q, not Q, and P or not Q, these two, right? So we'll be looking at these two, and there is a or, an or, and then and for an or, you look at we always ask if there is anything true. Is there anything true on here? Yes, there is something true. Okay. Again, I repeat, my true is always associated with a yes. My false are associated with a no. Okay, so if I'm asking the question, if the answer is yes, you put this, and there's no. But it logically makes sense for truth being yes and false being no. Okay. So is anything true here? Yes. Is anything true between this and this? Yes. Is there anything true between this and this? Okay, is anything true between this? Wait, yeah, nothing true here. Nothing true here. Is anything true here? Yes, there is something true. So there's one false here, and this is not a tautology, right? This is not okay. Let me use a proper notation. This is not a tautology, right? Why we're saying it's not a tautology? Because it's supposed for every assignment they should be what? They should be true for every assignment. A true value should be true. Let's try something else. So let's look at P or not P. Okay, so P or not P, number of rows you just put two, number of variables we have P and P, so it's going to be one. So you're going to have one, two rows, right? Now you can do that. Let's look at the table for P and look at the table for not P. So this could be true, this could be false. If this one is true, this is going to be false. If it was false, so it should be true. Okay, so let's look at this here. Let me say I wrote this here, I can't write it again. So the always said all is true if the any of the two inputs is true. So at least one should be true. So this here in this row there is something true then true. In this row there is something true. Oh, interesting. All the values we what were true. What do we know about when all values are true? Then we say it's a tautology. It's a tautology for all truth values should be true. Then we can call it a tautology. Okay, the previous one was proven to be a tautology because all truth values were true. Okay, let's test this one. This one, how many variables we have or input? We have P, we have P, we have P, if that is still P, we have Q. That means we have two because that another one is Q again. We have two. So it's going to be if it's 2 power 2 is 4, that means we're going to have 4 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to have 4 rows. The first one will be row for P, I mean the column for P and column for Q. Okay, so that is my Q that look like an A. Forgive me. Q. Okay, this one is a P. This could be true, this could be false, this could be true, this could be false. One alternation here, it should alternate to 2. This could be true, true, false, false. Okay, so let's look at another one, the middle one. Let's look at the middle one. Here we say P implies Q. Okay, remember about the implies, we said it's a promise, right? And the promise is like the example that I was working on is like when okay, if you pass, I buy you a car. If you pass, I buy you a car. I repeat, if you pass, I buy you a car. Listen to the promise. The promise depends of if you passed. Okay. Okay. Let's look at this one. This one is if you pass. This one is me buying a car or not. Okay. So you passed and I bought a car. So the promise was kept. True. You passed. I didn't buy a car. Okay. You passed. I didn't buy a car, and then I broke the promise. You failed, I bought the car. It really doesn't matter. I didn't say anything about you failing. So if I did buy a car, even if you failed, still okay. Okay? You failed, I didn't buy a car. I didn't say anything about failing. So that's still okay. I didn't break any promise. Okay? So let's look at another part now, the bigger chunk. This one. Let's look at it here. We say P and P implies Q is here, right? Okay, so we're looking at P and P implies Q. There is an and here. There is an and need both of them to be true. Okay, so this and this, they are both true. Then true. Are these both true? No, one of them is false. Okay, this will be false. This is going to be false. This is going to be false. It's going to be true, false, false, false. Okay. Okay, so now we're saying this whole thing implies Q. let's put it here. The whole thing is going to come to this table. It implies Q. So we're saying this whole thing that we just put here implies Q. So this needs to be true for this to be executed. Okay, that how if then statement works. Okay, so it still look like a promise again. You passed, I bought you a car. The promise was kept, true. You failed, I didn't buy a car. The promise wasn't broken. You failed, I bought the car. Still okay, I didn't break any promise. You failed and I didn't buy a car. Then that's okay. Interesting again. If you notice all the values, the truth values that we got here, they are all true. They are all true, the truth value. What do you know about truth values all being true? Go back here. Tautology, whatever input, the truth value is always true. So this statement is a tautology again. Okay, let's look at another statement to check if it is a tautology or a contradiction. Okay, so we have a statement P and not P. So how many rows are going to have 2 power and how many inputs? 1, 2. So it's going to be 1, 2. So there will be 1 for P, there will be 1 for not P. Okay, so P could be true, P could be false. Okay, not P is going to be false, not is going to be true. It's like the negation of this. Negation of truth is false, negation of false is true. Okay, let's look at P and not P. We're looking at these two, okay, and need both of them to be true. Remember, and need both of them to be true, and or need at least one of them to be true for it to be true. Okay, so here they are not both true, so that means false. They are not both true, that means it is false. And again, we're noticing some pattern here. They are all false. We go back here. If they are all false, always false, the truth value is always false, that means that is a contradiction. Hope you follow me. We have a statement again we have like P and Q. So those are two variables or inputs. If you put 2 here, it's 4. So we're going to have 4 rows down. So it is going to be P. Okay, let me get a brighter color. It's going to be P, Q. Q could be true, could be false, could be true, could be false. True, true, false, true, false. And this could be true, true, false, false. Okay. Interesting. So we're just going to look at the yellow part here. The yellow part here. Can you see the yellow part? Of which is P implies Q. P implies Q. P implies Q. Remember, if you pass, I buy you a car. If you pass, I buy you a car. You passed, I bought a car. True. If you pass, I buy you a car. You pass, I didn't buy a car. Okay. Promise was broken. You failed. If you failed, the statement doesn't even need to be tested because you already failed. You the one exactly disqualified yourself from a promise. So it's always going to be true if the hypothesis is false. Okay, true. Like you failed. I didn't buy a car. That's still okay. You failed. I bought a car. That's still okay. So we have tested the yellow part. Let's look at the what is in white brackets. This, okay, of which is going to be, okay, if we look at this part that we are going to test now, this part, it's like P and P implies Q. So we look at P, of which this is P, I just highlighted, and this is P implies Q. And for both of them to be true, for this statement to be true, here the first one is obviously true, the second one is obviously not true, this one is not true again, this one is not true. Okay, so we've worked with the first one. Okay, this is like none of the okay. This needs to be both true. 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 This is only where it was true. Okay, let's look at the next statement. The next statement is not whatever is in the bracket. Of which was in the bracket was this. So we're looking at not these. Okay, not this is going to be opposite of this or negation of this. So if it's not true, it's false. If it's not false, it's true. If it's not false, it's true. If it's not false, it's true. We're done. So the next one we're saying, so now we're testing the whole statement because we have every part of it done. Okay, so we're saying this, of which is this here, implies Q. Where is Q? Q is here. So this big chunk or yellow part implies the Q part. So still that statement, if you pass, I buy you a car. Okay, if you pass, I buy you a car. Okay, so you failed, I bought a car. That is still okay. You passed, I didn't buy a car. That is so wrong. You passed, I bought a car. You passed, I didn't buy a car. So after investigating, doing the the truth table, so we just discovered that this was not a tautology or a contradiction. But if we could have put our bracket just out here, let me say we put our bracket here, these red brackets, if they were here, this would have been a tautology. So I leave that as your practice. Try to check if it is like this, is it going to be a tautology or a contradiction? Or if it was like this, it was supposed to be a contradiction. So make sure that you try it and comment in the comment section if it was a tautology or a contradiction. I just shifted the bracket compared to the one that I did. So thank you for watching. Please like if you found the video informative. Don't forget to subscribe and share to your classmates. Thank you.